Welcome back to Miles Off It. John, we're blowing bubbles, baby. We're talking about West Ham. The Hammers.
Hammering down.
The Hammers.
Hammer down. Hammer down.
AJ Wood, let me hold that beat.
West Ham, great season. Finished 7th in the Premier League, 56 points. Home record, they were 9-5-5 with a +7 goal difference. That was 32 points. And away, they were 7-3-9, 24 points with a +2 goal difference. 24 points, +2 in goal difference both ways. That's pretty good. Still not over 500 away. We're going to see a little bit of a trend here coming up with some of these teams. But overall, West Ham had a great year. They had a little bit of a resurgence. They had some really good players, really big players step up for them. John, tell us about West Ham. Tell us about their strengths. How'd they do it?
Well, the first way they did it is the boys got a coach, and that coach is good. That's a good coach.
That's a good coach.
Clearly, David Moyes is, I don't know if the answer, but he is an answer that has gotten some good answers, which makes no sense whatsoever. But I think he's
I was just
clearly
agreeing
the guy
with you.
right there. Yeah, I think he's clearly the guy there right now. I think he has the team believing. I think that he has an actual system, an actual idea, an actual identity, which is usually the first step for any of the mid-table teams to make noise, make a run, and jump into Europe, which they did last year and actually played pretty well throughout that European competition. I do think that they are more of a sum of their parts team. They do have a couple of guys that are incredibly talented. Declan Rice. I think Jarrod Bowen's incredibly talented. We love We love Michail Antonio. And I'm excited for the Scamacca show to be in there. So they got some dudes, but they're deep. Like, I think they're the deepest team outside of that traditional top six, right?
Very.
I think that the sum of the parts and how Moyes coaches them is the reason that they are so successful. The other thing is they're competitive. Like, they are. I think they're. You mentioned with Leicester a gritty team, gritty midfield. I think they're gritty throughout the team. Kurt Zuma's gritty. Like Fabianski, gritty. Just a gritty team, and they've got a lot of players in a lot of positions that can do the job, and they want to do the job. Scamacca, like I mentioned before, I'm excited for the Scamacca show. I think he's going to be fun to watch. He's huge. He's got a big boot on him. I think they're going to need to soften him up on some like tech skills and whatnot, but it's like a cool signing. Like, it is someone that's been on the Italian radar for a while. One thing that he's going to have to do, he's a big body. He's like 6'4" or 6'5", I'm pretty sure, if not taller. He's kind of a twig, though, so he might get pushed around a little bit in the Prem. If he can push back and if he's actually an enforcer, and he's learning from the best, I personally believe, the best attacking enforcer in the Premier League, in Antonio, I think they might have something there. So, yeah, that's his strength.
John, I know you did not have phonics. I know you don't know these things. It's Scamacca. Yeah.
I know it is. Let me call him Scamacca.
You purposely called him Scamacca?
Scamacca.
Oh, my God.
Just go and tell him about the weaknesses, you little shit.
I'm going to tell you about the weaknesses because John did such a good job with the strengths. They will... You have this written down. I'm actually not super sure about this. You say they will lose their heart and soul. Declan Rice and Jarrod Bowen. It's only a matter of time. Declan Rice has been out the door for 2 years, and he's still there. I mean,
it's true.
I don't know, man. I don't know if he's actually going to leave ever.
Valid point.
But you do have Declan is truly not replaceable. I agree. I think he is very, very fucking good. And then consistency, I think you're absolutely spot on. They play up to their competition all the time. Played up to Liverpool, played up to you guys, played up to those big six teams. Lost to Brentford twice, lost to Wolves, Southampton, Leeds, Brentford. Brentford.
My bad.
Brentford 3 times. They drew Burnley twice, which is bad.
Yeah.
And they also tied Southampton. So Southampton actually got 4 points off of them. during the year.
Yeah.
Other than that, though, it's so weird that we were just talking about Leicester City, and we're going to talk about Manchester United here pretty soon. In terms of expectations, they're pretty much right on track. So it doesn't look like there's that many weaknesses for them, really. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, think about this. They dropped 10 potential points to Brentford and Burnley last year, right?
Yes.
They finished the season with 56 points. The team ahead of them, Manchester United, had 58 points.
Yeah.
That gets them sixth.
10 is more than 2.
The team ahead of Manchester United had 69, and they'd be knocking at that door. And I think it's one of those things where if the season's going a little bit differently and you can maybe make up all those points, because they are a better team than both of those teams, they play some games a little bit differently. Maybe one of these other L's that they had becomes a tie. And that's like the biggest thing for me. We talk about this when it comes to Liverpool and City all the time.
Mm-hmm.
The teams that can take the L's and make them the draws are the teams that are very good.
Yes.
And Leeds, Brentford twice, Southampton. Those three especially. Let me take Wolves out, A, because I love Dylan, and B, because I do think Wolves is a pretty decently defensive team. Those three, they can't lose to those. And it's 4 games because it's Brentford twice, like we said. Those 4 games, like, totally could have taken the season in a different direction if they played them how they should have.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think they're better than Arsenal, but better than United.
I think Arsenal is actually more consistent than West Ham is. We'll get to them too, but it's just it's a game of inches type of thing, and they could have been better than United.
Yeah.
The weaknesses aren't as many. This is actually one of the shorter weaknesses sections we've ever had. Michael, where do you want them to buy?
Well,
how can they get better?
First of all, they already got better. They brought in Skamaka, the man, the myth, the legend. I think that was a great signing. In terms of where I think they can get better, again, I think we have a little bit of a disagreement here on like how we should be spending the money. They need a left back desperately. They lost Masuaku. Cresswell, I'm not super sure about. Kufal's a good right back, obviously, but I think they need somebody on that left side to solidify that position. I'm going for a guy who looks like a West Ham player and he plays like a West Ham player. And I'm saying go to Spain and get Renan Lodi from Atletico Madrid. I think he could be an incredible... If you put him in a West Ham jersey, he looks like he's been there for 15 years. I don't know why I think that, but I just do. Some guys just look like the team that they're playing for. And he looks like Atletico player, but he also looks like a West Ham player. And then, not often do I do this. Usually the teams will listen to us and then they'll make their decisions. But I'm going to listen to the transfer market, the rumors and stuff like that. And I'm going to do Onana from Lille. I think defensive midfielder, 20 years old. I think he could either, if Declan Rice decides to stay there long term, which, never know, he could play with him. He could take that defensive midfielder, let Declan Rice move up forward on the pitch a little bit more. And if he does end up leaving, I think he is going to be a very serviceable, very good defensive midfielder. He can kind of hold down that midfield for them. That's where I think they need. I think Michail Antonio and Skamaka up top are really good. Bowen on the right. Then you have Lanzini in the middle. You have Fornals on the outside. Benrahma still. They have options there. I think you take that left back position and you take that center mid position and just depth, and you have a lot better team.
Yeah, Onana also just looks like a West Ham player as well.
Yes.
I did a couple of CDMs, just because I do think Declan will go, and if that is the case, I know that he doesn't play traditional CDM for them, right? Like he kind of does a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
If your best player's going, I think you want to shore up that defense first. My guys are young. I think they're more of a project. But I did Lucas Gorna from Saint Etienne. He's really, really good with link-up play. He's going to be able to sit back and dink some passes around. Very athletic. He's got a motor. He can work around. He's 6'1", and he's 18 years old.
Very young.
yet very, very young. And then I also put in Bilal Hussein from AIK. He's 22 years old. He's shifty, more of a volume passer. He's looking to play balls to the fast wingers on the outside. His biggest weakness is going to be his weakness. I don't think he's very strong. He might get pushed around a little bit in the Prem. Could be more of an attacking midi at some point instead of a CDM. But I'm thinking of, if you're losing Rice, you probably want to get more defensive there, just to shore that up. And I'm always trying to get younger, because that is the one thing with this team. I don't have their current average age, but they're deep and they're a good team. I don't think they're the youngest team out there by at all. You know, I think that they got some age on there.
Like 28, probably 28, 29.
Yeah, but just seeing the names like Lanzini, I think Fornals isn't totally young. He could be, who knows? But you know, I think they
Great research department here at NAFTA.
Sometimes you have thoughts when you're in the middle of doing this show, and I'm like, oh, I think that's a pretty good thought, and I kind of want to say it out loud. And then as soon as it comes out of your mouth, you're just like, there's like a 40% chance this is accurate. So, you know, we do what we do. Michael, we've been really, really great with who to buy for teams. We've given a lot of constructive criticism to their transfer department. With that said, and we love this team. We're big West Ham guys. Where do you got them finishing?
I have my range as 6 to 8, but I don't think they finish 8. I don't think they finish 7. I think they finish 6 this year, John. One better.
Okay.
One better of last year. And you know what that means? One of those teams we're going to talk about in the next week or two, they're dropping out.
They're going down in an earlier round.
Oh, yeah.
And Sugar, they're going down swinging.
Yeah.
I got West Ham staying at 7th.
Boo.
I know it's a boo. It'll be interesting to see if there's an additional gear that Moyes has for this team. And if there's not an additional gear, then the consistency thing, I think, is just their biggest thing. Like they could easily end up 6th, or I mean, I could see them being 5th, to be honest. Like, depends on your thoughts on how impressed you are with certain teams' transfer windows currently. Top 3, I think, is pretty set. I think you actually convinced me of who the top 3 actually is more than I did before, but we'll get to that. But I think they could get 6th, they could get 5th. I just think 7th is kind of a safe pick for them.
Last thing before we call this one, okay?
Yeah.
They brought in Naif Aguerd. I don't know how to say that. He's 6'2", center back. They have Zuma, who's a big boy. They have Ogbonna.
Declan's big.
Declan's big. Ogbonna's pretty big. Antonio's big guy, obviously. Scamacca, we mentioned, 6'4", 6'5", in that area. Suchek's a big dude. Okay? They are going to be crazy on set pieces.
They already are.
I know.
I mean,
they just got 2 guys over 6 foot.
That's how they took both of our teams to the tape.
Yeah.
Or to the whichever. What do you call it? Take them to the mat. Took them to the mat last year. I mean,
Behind the shed.
that's going to be their huge advantage. Like, it is kind of funny. The last one we talked about was Leicester. When they play each other, they should just play for set pieces.
Yeah.
I think they'd win 8-0. So, yeah, it'll be fun. They're a fun team. Like, I'm excited about this team. I'm excited about Villa. I'm excited about this team. You know, I'm excited for the year to start. So, West Ham, like, subscribe, share, leave us some comments. Do you also struggle with phonics? Did you not have a very good first grade teacher?
Why?
Welcome to the club.
Why?
I'm talking to our viewers, Michael.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. All right. Thanks.